December non-inflationary variable time staking annuity. What this means is the piggy bank pays you a set rate for agreeing to time lock your capital for a variable amount of time, and we allow you to set the variance in weekly increments. So 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all the way up to 3 years, right? And this reward that is paid out for your time staking annuity is not coming through inflation. It's coming from other participants in the system who are also agreeing to lock up their principal for a period of time. And essentially, this is a form of lending. And when I say that, it's in the sense that those who are getting in are lending capital to those who have already been in the system, with the understanding that they will get paid out in the future for creating this value. So there is a value in capital over time. This value is expressed through an ROI. And when I say there's value in capital over time, what I mean by this is you can establish a value or a price for time locking capital. So what I mean by this is, if I was to offer you $100 today, or $1,000 a year from now, you would have to determine what is more valuable to you: $100 right now, or $1,000 a year from now. So there is a value transfer that takes place when time locking capital. And in this case, that value transfer is happening when a new person enters the system and they're lending that value to people that are current participants in the system, with the agreement that they will be rewarded for time locking this capital in the form of an ROI. So the mechanics of this are very similar to lending, right? Now, in the case of something like a certificate of deposit, or a protocol in DeFi such as a HEX, right? This capital that's being paid out as a reward for those agreeing to lend their capital to those who are existing participants in the system comes through inflation. So with a certificate of deposit, for example, when you lock that capital up in a bank, the bank then uses it as collateral to then have the federal, not the federal government, but the Fed, through inflation, mint more capital that then goes to the bank, that the bank then lends out that capital and pays out a percentage of the interest paid on this capital to people that have locked up their capital in the CD. That's the way traditional certificate of deposit in a central centralized system works. We're taking those same mechanics, but instead of relying on two centralized entities, both the bank and the Fed, to mint tokens, or in their case, US dollars, to pay for people for time locking their capital, we're paying this capital out directly from the stakes of those who have time locked their capital. So we're not relying on a centralized institution to inflate the supply of the underlying assets to then lend out to create interest. We're allowing each participant to individually lend out the collateral themselves to existing participants of the system that got in before them. So it's a way that we are allowing participants to express the value of time locking capital and benefit from that by lending this value to other participants in the system. So that's an overview of how value is created in this system. So it's not just a protocol that is taking in capital and then redistributing that capital to, indiscriminately to other participants in the system, right? It's allowing participants to time lock their capital, and then the value which is associated with time locking capital is then lent to existing participants in the system. And then those existing participants in the system can decide to either cash out that value or compound it, which is essentially lending it back out to earn a higher yield off of it. So there's a lot of people have a misunderstanding of a protocol like this and think that it's essentially a shell game where capital is just being distributed and no value is created. When that's the furthest thing from the truth, we're creating value the same way a traditional market creates value in a certificate of deposit or in an annuity, but we're doing it in a way that does not rely on inflation and does not rely on centralized institutions. And if you don't think that there is a value associated with time-locked capital, then you could basically throw away all market dynamics, because most market dynamics are based on this, on putting value on time and capital, right? So that's, the first slide. I'll just go through this line by line. So it says stake PIGS BUSD LP to earn up to 3% daily ROI. So where it says PIGS BUSD LP tokens, you click that, it will send you to a platform where you can add liquidity to PIGS BUSD. So that's just a simple way to get there. Now, it says earn up to 3% daily ROI. Let me explain how this system works. When you enter the system, there are two assets that are operating within the system, right? There are internal assets that cannot be removed from the system. And it's piglets and it's truffles. Piglets represent your ability to earn an ROI in the system. If your piglets are on par or greater than the average user in the system, meaning if you are increasing your piglet holdings at a rate which is on par or greater than the average user in the system, you can maintain an ROI of around 3%. The piglets themselves are not a tradable asset, meaning you cannot take your piglets and cash them out. Piglets are solely a placeholder which represent your ability to earn an ROI in the system. Now, this ROI is paid out in truffles. Truffles are the tradable asset. Truffles get their price based on the contract balance. So, every day, piglets are created. Now, if you compound the ROI that you're earning to buy additional piglets, a share of the piglets are increasing at a rate that is equal or greater than the average user in the system, you will earn a 3% daily ROI. If you stop compounding your truffles to buy more piglets, what's going to happen is your ability to earn an ROI will remain stagnant, while other participants that are compounding their truffles to earn piglets will be increasing. And this creates a value transfer from weak hands to strong hands. So those who are compounding their truffles regularly to continue to top out their shareholdings of piglets continue to earn a 3% daily ROI, while those who just leech from the system, just keep their existing amount of piglets and cash out their truffles, since they are not increasing their piglets at a rate with the average user of the system, and since piglets represent a placeholder for the amount of ROI you can earn in the system, their ability to earn an ROI will be slowly decreasing every day. And this is why it says earn up to 3% daily ROI. Your ability to earn an ROI in the system is 100% dependent on your actions in the system. And it's just a beautiful piece of game theory because it heavily rewards those who compound, not just by increasing their share of the contract, but also by maintaining their ability to earn an ROI in the contract, right? So some people in Drip Garden have got a bit confused with this dynamic, and they want to focus on the price of plants. In Drip Garden, plants are the equivalent of piggy bank, are the equivalent of piglets in piggy bank, and seeds are the equivalent of truffles in piggy banks. So some people have that don't understand the system have focused on plants and want to put a price on plants. If you try to put a price on plants, you will be misled because plants are not a tradable asset. Plants just represent a placeholder to determine what your ROI is. And plants are constantly being created, and the reason why we are constantly creating plans is to ensure that those who compound are able to maintain the same high ROI, but those who are not compounding are slowly decreasing their ability to earn an ROI. So if you try to put a price on plans and focus on plans, you would come under the assumption that they are losing value because more plans are constantly being increasing. This isn't the proper way to look at it because plans are not tradable assets. They don't have a price. They're only representing your ability to earn ROI in the system, and those who compound always stay ahead of the increasing plant count to ensure that they're always making the highest possible ROI in the system, and those who don't are slowly losing their ability to earn ROI day after day after day. So you're only losing the ability to earn an ROI in the system, and you're only losing value in the system if you are not doing some sort of responsible compounding and just leeching from the system. So, as I said before, as long as you are compounding at least on par with the average user in the system, you are able to maintain the same high ROI, and you're earning this ROI in truffles, and truffles gets its price from the amount of capital of the contract. So, in order to determine what you're profiting in the system and what you could claim at any point in profit, you need to focus on the truffle price, and in Drip Garden, the seed price, not the plant price or the piglet price, because those are not tradable assets. They don't even have a price. You can, do various calculations to try to determine a price for piglets or a price for plants, but that would only be misleading yourself because you're trying to put a price on an asset that's not tradable, and which is only representing a placeholder that determines what daily ROI you make. So I understand that it's an innovative protocol, and with that, there's a learning curve. So that's why I just want to spend the time to make it very clear for people, so people are not getting confused, right? And if you look at the Drip Garden balance has increased every month. We hit an all-time high in drip contract balance every month, which means that the performance of the Drip Garden is increasing, and the ability to earn profit in the Drip Garden is increasing every month, month after month, for those who are compounding at least on par with the average user in the system. And the only people who would have seen a decrease in profits generated from the Drip Garden are those who have been leeching from the system at a greater rate than the average user. So it's just a beautiful piece of game theory that rewards people for being patient and rewards people for valuing the capital associated with time locking collateral. Piggy Bank takes this a step further and gives additional bonuses for having for agreeing to have patience for a specified period of time. So if you agree to time lock for 3 weeks, for example, you're given a bonus on your principal, which means you've increased the amount of interest you're earning every day, which can then be compounded or allowing you to earn an exponentially higher profit because you're experiencing exponentially larger compound interest in the system for time blocking. And we are the only protocol in the world, not just in DeFi or crypto, that allows you to earn a bonus on your compound interest for agreeing to time block for a period of time. All of these other protocols, once you've time blocked, you have no ability to compound your rewards. And your bonus is not added to your principal. They just take whatever you deposited, and then however long you time block for, there's a bonus associated with it. Say 10% for time blocking for a year, just to throw a number out there. So you lock 100 tokens for a year, you get a 10% bonus. All they do is at the end of the year, they give you 10 extra tokens. This is not attractive. It's at least not attractive to me, right? Because if I'm earning a bonus on a system that allows other participants to compound, but for time blocking, I don't have the ability to compound, then it would be a dilution of power to time block, because you would see more of a benefit from compounding your interest than you would for a bonus tacked on at the end. But our protocol adds this bonus to your principal over time for time blocking, really allowing you to experience an exponential increase in profits from the system. So, all right, now, so it says, to unlock referral bonuses, you must have dogs staked in the single asset staking. All right. If you go to pools, you'll see the dogs single asset staking pool. You earn right now 134% ROI, or APR, I should say, 134% APR paid out in pigs. So not only are you increasing and unlocking referral bonuses for having dogs staked in the single asset dogs pool, you're also earning an APR in pigs, which you can then compound into the piggy bank and into the pig pen, further increasing your ability to earn an ROI in the system, an exponentially growing ROI in the system. Okay, can you go back to piggy bank, please? Piggy bank. Okay. So with the referral bonus, the referral bonus you get is dependent on the amount of dogs you have staked in the single asset dog staking pool. If you have no dogs in the single asset dog staking pool, you get no bonus for referring. If you have 2 dogs staked in the single asset staking pool, which costs you at this price about $126, you get a 1% bonus on the deposit of someone that you refer. If you have 3 dogs staked, you get a 2% bonus. 5 dogs staked, a 3% bonus. 8 dogs staked, 4% bonus. And 13 dogs staked, you get a 5% bonus on the deposit of someone that you refer. Now, if you look at this chart that Bartown is sharing right now, this is of the BREAP price. If you look at the title here, it says the referral commission structure. The referral commission structure based on Drip's highly successful. Wait a minute. try to read it. All right, so it says the referral commission structure based on Drip's highly successful B-REIT dependency model with a Fibonacci sequence progression. What this means is we based the dog's piggy bank referral structure on the Drip's B-REIT referral structure. With the drip system, in order to unlock downline referral bonuses, you need to have B-REIT. So we're using that same model here, and if you look at this chart, it shows what happened to the B-REIT price once we implemented this new use case and utility for the B-REIT token. So, in the early spring, the late spring, early summer is when we implemented this B-REIT use case or utility in the drip system. And you see, as soon as we did, it created an exponential growth in the price of B-REIT, right? So increasing, and then the growth became more and more and more exponential until we saw a massive explosion, right? Where the price of B-REIT did like over 100x, right? And we did nothing with B-REIT except for implement it into Drip's referral structure. I expect to see a very similar result play out in the dogs token as we saw in B-REIT when dogs is implemented into the piggy bank referral structure using the same dependency model that we used with B-REIT. And we're even using the same Fibonacci sequence progression, which determines the amount of dogs you need to have staked to unlock and increase the referral bonuses you get. The reason why we use a Fibonacci sequence is because it has an exponential curve that is increasing the amount that you need to hold in order to unlock bonuses, which are also exponential. And what I mean by that is, when you increase your referral bonus from 2% to 3%, this is not an increase in the bonuses you receive by 1%, because it affects all of the future referrals. So it compounds your ability to earn bonuses. And you see a compounded exponential increase in the bonuses you're able to earn. And because of this, we want the amount of dogs you need to hold in order to unlock this to also be increasing in an exponential manner. Now, the reason why we chose to go with this amount of dogs is because we want to ensure that the average user can get in at least at the ground floor. So, in order to unlock the first level of referrals, what I mean by that is, in order to unlock referrals, to start 1% referral, you need to have about $126 worth or $128 worth of dog stake. The average user in the animal farm can afford that, and we know that by looking at the analytics of the animal farm. We want to ensure that the average user can benefit from referral bonuses, because this will greatly increase the amount of referrals and the amount of onboarding we see in the system. Now, as the system grows, and as the users in the system generate profit, and as the performance of the whole platform increases, so does the price of dog and pigs, and so does the cost of increasing your referral bonuses. So as the benefit of being a referrer increases, so does the cost of being a referrer. And it results in this kind of exponential explosion in the price of the asset that you need to unlock referrals. And, we've seen it play out perfectly in Drip and continue to play out perfectly in Drip. And I'm very excited to see how it plays out in the Animal Farm regarding the dog and pig tokens. All right, you want to scroll back up to the top? Okay. Okay, it says time lock your harvest to earn a massive bonus on yield. Airdrop stakes to friends and family using the gift stake function. And most importantly, take control of your financial future on the Animal Farm. All right, let's go down to the gift function, please. Okay, now here, this is the gift function. This is how you gift stakes to other participants in the system. Whether that be friends and family or someone that you want to encourage to use your referral link. And the way it works is you put in the address of the person you want to airdrop the stake to. You put in the amount or the size of the stake you want to airdrop to them. And you put in the amount of time that you want it to be time locked for. Now, it has to be over a week. You can't stake for over a week. So actually, I'm going to make an adjustment here. So it starts off at 1 week instead of 0. But if you tried to do it at 0, it wouldn't work anyways. You would need to switch it over to 1 week for it to actually, for the transaction tax to go through. But you choose the amount of time that you want to lock up the stake for. And now you gift it. And when you gift it to the user, it now will show up in their stake table. Okay? So you want to go down a little bit to the stake table. Okay. My piggy banks. This is the stake table. This will show you all of the stakes that you have associated with the wallet that's connected to the site. It will tell you the amount of piglets you hold, the amount of truffles you have available, meaning available to compound. It will tell you the USD value of those truffles. It will tell you the time remaining on your stake. And it will tell you the max payout on this stake. Now, the max payout is based on your principal. So, if you compound or if you deposit into a stake, it will increase your max payout. The only way that you hit max payout is if you stop compounding completely and you stop depositing completely. This will leave you with a static max payout and eventually you will hit it. This is to prevent people from continuing to leech from the system forever without being an active participant in the system and without, contributing to some extent back into the protocol. Either that, and when I say contribute to the protocol, that this doesn't just mean in deposits or compounding. When you do a referral and you refer someone who deposits into the system, this will also increase your principal, which increases your max payout. So even if you are even if you have tapped out your capital essentially, and you do have a responsible compounding rate, but now you want to go to some sort of, you might want to slow down your compounding rate, you can still continue to increase your max payout by referring other participants that are depositing capital into the system. So it ensures that as long as you are benefiting the system as a whole, and you're benefiting all the participants in the system, you will be able to continue to earn in the system. And it ensures that the people who continue to earn in the system have literally earned the capital that they're generating. Okay? Now you see the only action you can take on a time block stake is compounding until the time stake is over. So you cannot deposit into a time block stake. You cannot withdraw or harvest from a time block stake. You can only compound your available truffles into a time block stake. If you want to make a fresh deposit, you can do that. You just have to create a new stake to do that. Now, there is also an emergency end stake function, right? This is not just being displayed right now because Bartertown doesn't have a current stake in the system, so there's no option for him to emergency unstake it right now. But if this was live and he had a stake, you would see the ability to emergency end stake it. Now, you can only emergency end stake if your available truffles or if your principal that's available for you to withdraw is equal to the principal that you have locked in the system. In this case, you can emergency end stake, but if you do, you only get half of this capital. So essentially, you get half of your principal back, and the stake is dead forever, which means you can no longer earn off of it. So it is a useful option for people that really do come upon an emergency. But there is no scenario where it's a benefit to emergency end stake. You're always going to be limiting your ability to profit. You're always going to make less capital for emergency end staking than if you didn't emergency end stake. And that's important, of course, because you don't want a system where it somehow becomes beneficial for people to be emergency end staking, right? So now we have a table here for referrals. This shows you analytics on the stakes that have been created by people that use your referral link. And this is a very powerful tool for people who want to create reward structures for those who use their referral links. What I mean by that is someone like a Bartertown who has a YouTube channel can say, all right, guys, once a week, everybody who uses my referral link and deposits a time-locked stake for 1 year that is higher than $2,000, I'll airdrop them a $100 time-locked stake. So now, people have incentive to use his referral link. He benefits by getting the referral bonus, and they get rewarded for using his referral link in a way that is not like a free airdrop where they can just dump on the market. So he's ensuring that when he gifts someone a stake, they are now in that stake as an active participant. They cannot just dump that reward they gave him. So this is similar to Drip in that sense, where people can use these tools that we provided as an extreme incentive to onboard additional users. And these tools are the reason why Animal Farm and Drip, if you look at YouTube analytics, for example, are outperforming Uniswap, AnchorDAO, Hex, major projects, right? Like Uniswap is one of the biggest DeFi projects, period. And if you look at our analytics, we have more people making videos on YouTube about Drip and about Animal Farm than people are about Uniswap, for example. So, see this? He's showing it right now. So, we have significantly higher and better analytics than